Okay, good guess, but think it even maybe simpler. Why would they not let us go trade? What if we wanted to trade with the Netherlands?
Because crossing the sea, Britain might not know that you're going to the Netherlands.
Absolutely, absolutely. You go trade with a foreign country and they see your ship on the sea, you can tell them all you want, hey, we're not going to any port under your control, and they're saying, well, we're not going to take the chance, so we're going to seize your ship and we're going to impress your sailors. So the best way to keep American ships from not being seized and Americans being impressed was to not trade with anyone. That's why he did it. And this act that was passed by Congress was referred to as the Embargo Act of 1807. And again, it forbid any American ship to leave for any foreign port, and it really abandoned that principle of freedom of the seas. We backed down and said, okay, freedom of the seas doesn't matter to us. And that was a long-standing principle that you could, sail your boat anywhere unimpeded. So that was a big decision. So everybody in the United States was just thrilled, right? No, there were three specific groups that were pretty dang pissed off about it, to be honest with you. Who would absolutely rise? The merchants were just furious because they couldn't ship their products. They would lose money. They would go out of business. So the merchants in America were just furious over the Embargo Act of 1807. Who else would be upset? God, he's going for the MVP today. Farmers, because who sells their goods to the merchants? Farmers. If the merchants aren't selling anything, then the farmers aren't selling anything, right? Chain reaction. What other group would be mad? This one's a little tough. What?
Everyday people?
What?
Would it be everyday people? It'd be more expensive.
No, you're getting close though. So the farmers make the product and they send it to the merchants, and the merchants organize it as they wish and they sell it for profit.
Would it be the people that we celebrate?
The sailors! The sailors are mad. Very good. The sailors are mad because they are all of a sudden what? Out of work. They're unemployed. So you've got a lot of uproar right in the United States among your merchants, farmers, and sailors who all of a sudden have to go to a standstill because they make no profits or salaries. Well, guess what this led to? Revolutionary War embargoes. What did people start doing? What? No. Trading anyways, which is called what? The S word. Smug. Yeah, it led to smuggling. So Americans smuggled goods across the border to Canada. Some even left their ships in Canadian ports. And they sailed under British and French licenses because who owned territory in Canada? British and the French. So some of these guys either smuggled goods on the high seas or they went and parked their ships up in Canada and got British or French licenses and began to sail under those countries' rules. Well, I want to go back to you because you were right when you said there was protests. And there certainly were. The ones that protested the most were probably New England merchants. New England merchants. And they really felt the pinch of the embargo. They were losing lots of money. And they demanded the repeal of the Embargo Act. They demanded the repeal because they were getting crushed financially. Obviously, the farmers and the unemployed sailors also protested. But the ones that were most boisterous were New England merchants. Well, finally, on March 1st of 1809, because he was under tremendous pressure from these merchants, farmers, and unemployed sailors, Jefferson asked Congress to repeal the Embargo Act.
A few years later.
Yeah. Actually, Congress did it. You know when they did it? 3 days before Jefferson left office as President of the United States. So he dealt with it his whole presidency. So finally, after much protest in a 3-year period of time, on March 1st, 1809, Jefferson reluctantly asked Congress to repeal the Embargo Act of 1807, And they did. 3 days before Jefferson took office. So whose problem is it going to be? Who's our next president? James Madison. Okay? It'll be his problem to deal with, and that's what we'll talk about. Okay, let's go over some things you need to know for a little quiz that we're going to have. Let's just have this quiz tomorrow and be done with it, shall we? You all going to be here?
Yeah.
You're not? Okay, well, you have to make it up. Okay? So those girls that are at the old volleyball tournament, and you swimmers, we have any swimmers in here?
No, they left.
Yeah, Elise and Alexa and McKenna.
And
You'll have, and who?
Andy.
Oh, I thought you said Andy.
Well, Andy's not part of the group. Geez, girls, just don't listen to this. Marco went from the MVP to questionable here. All right, here's what you need to know for the quiz. Okay, and the quiz will be Tuesday. We'll have the quiz Tuesday, next Tuesday, but here's what you need to know. And it's just a quiz, so it won't be worth as much. Okay, I told you that President Jefferson asked Congress to make 5 changes in the federal government, right? He asked them to make 5. I would know which one they did not do. Of the 5 changes that he asked for in Congress, which one did they not do?
They didn't change the national bank.
Right, they kept the National Bank of the United States even though Jefferson thought it was unconstitutional. So of the 5 congressional changes that Jefferson asked for, please know which one they did not accept. You will need to write an essay form, Marbury versus Madison. And I will cover that again on Monday to make sure that you guys understand it fully. Okay? You'll have to know who Samuel Chase was. Samuel Chase. You will need to know who Rufus King and George Clinton were. You will have to know why, in detail, Aaron Burr challenged Alexander Hamilton to a duel. And what I mean in detail is this, is that Alexander Hamilton campaigned against Aaron Burr when Aaron Burr ran for governor of New York. Burr lost the election. He blamed Hamilton for his defeat. Then he heard that Hamilton had made an unpleasant remark about him during the campaign and demanded that Hamilton apologize. When Hamilton refused to apologize, Burr challenged him to a duel.
What do you think would have happened if, like, Burr missed? You think he would have just, like, walked away?
I think he would have. I think he, and that, you know, in some of these duels, by the way, these guys would predetermine this. You know, it wasn't manly to, you know, I get ticked off at Ryland, so I react. I said, God, we're going to a duel. Then I think about it overnight and think, oh, God, that was dumb because one of us is probably going to die here. So I go up to Ryland and say, listen, I'm really sorry I got this guy yesterday. So we got to do this duel. So we'll just both agree to shoot up in the air. And that happens sometimes, where they would mark their 10 paces and both men would shoot into the air. That was fine. That was
What if
honorable.
one of them said they would and then shot
You could. You had to be. You had to be able. You had to be able to trust the person you were making a deal with. In this case, I would guess that Alexander Hamilton would not have thought that Aaron Burr would have made a deal with him because he was so mad at him. So you got to pick your people. Also, you need to know why Hamilton didn't fire. Okay. Compliments of Rachel Drake today. That was awesome. As far as the war in Europe, you need to know what the orders in council were, what freedom of the seas was, and the 3 groups that were upset over the Embargo Act of 1807. And this quiz will be worth about 50 points, I'm going to guess, about half a test score. And we will take this thing on Tuesday, okay? And we'll take it in the comments. So tomorrow, I'm going to show you a video. We're going to finish the other reasons or other things you didn't know about the American flag. Remember, we didn't get those things finished. That's what we'll do tomorrow. I'm also going to show you another video And then Monday we'll have a little bit of a review, and then we will have a quiz on Tuesday. For those of you who are gone, we'll get you all lined up for the quiz on Tuesday.
Wednesday, our biographies.
And Wednesday, your biographies due. Wednesday.